Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on Autodesk Fusion 360. This tutorial is for absolute beginners. If you are an absolute beginner for Autodesk Fusion 360, please sit and watch this video. I am going to just fool around with it, just draw basic things and talk about the tools that are within it and things that I like about it. I'm just gonna mess around in it. I have a little bit of experience with it, and so I'm just gonna play around in it and let you guys watch and expose you guys to the tools that are within it, just a little bit at a time. In this video, we'll cover whatever I can reach. So enjoy, guys. Um, let's start off in the design workspace, and we're going to come over here to create sketch. So just left click here, and we are now in a infinite 3D world. These yellow squares here are axis, X, Y, and Z axes. So if you come over here to this block, we can just touch somewhere here, and let's go ahead and just touch on one of those boxes. So now we're just ignore this for now. This can be changed. I'll show you here in just a second. So let's go ahead and create let's create a square. So create rectangle, center rectangle. A square is equal on all sides. A rectangle is two opposing. So let's do a square. So let's do 1.0, hit the tab key, 1.0, hit enter, and we now have a square. Okay, let's zoom in. You zoom in by rolling the mouse wheel in and out. If you want to orbit around and check out your part, feel free to hit the shift key while pressing down on the middle mouse wheel, clicking down on it, and moving your mouse around. So click down on your mouse wheel while holding shift, and then move your mouse wheel around, and you can do that. Okay, let's pull height out of this part. So let's left click on it, hit Q for extrude, and let's type in 1.0. Okay, we now have a cube. Okay, so now that we have a cube, let's establish where the top is. So let's just click right here. I know it says front, but we're going to change that. This little arrow that's pointing, triangle pointing down here, let's click on it, left click, and let's set right here, set current view as, let's choose top. Boom, done. And then we can, there's a highlight the top, you can move down a little bit, that'll kick you at an angle. And then move over to the left, that'll kick you at that angle. And what I like to do is go ahead and drop that back down and set current view as home, fixed view. Okay, and what that does is, say we're looking at the front or we're orbiting around and we want to look at the top, rotate it over, get the square to the top, hit home, and it puts us back at the home view at a fixed distance. Looks real nice. We can see most of the sides, so it's pretty nice. Let's go ahead and do some stuff to this box. Let's put a hole on top. So there's a neat little feature here called hole. Click on it, choose where you want the hole. Let's put it on top of the part. So we'll just click on top of the part, doesn't matter where yet. And let's click over on this box and let's look straight up and down at the part here and rotate it to where it says top, where it's orientated correctly there. And you can move this anywhere you want, doesn't matter. If you want to give it position, click on reference and choose what you're referencing from. If you want it to be over here in the corner, like say 1/4 1/4 inch down and 1/4 inch over, just click on the top, type in 0.25, and then click on the side and type in 0.25, and then press enter. Okay, it's locked in now. Okay, so now your hole is 1/4 inch down and 1/4 inch over. See it? It's cutting through the part. Doesn't need to be that long. You can shorten it. It doesn't even have to be a through hole. You can actually put it to whatever distance you want. For this, we're going to go ahead and go all the way through the part. So you can either drag it through the part or manually type it in to at least 1 inch. I'm going to go ahead and just pull it out. Looks good. Everything's looking good. Now you can define that here. It's at 1.4 deep, so it's passing through the part. The part is only 1 inch tall. This is your drill tip diameter. It does not matter for this in this case, being a through hole. And this is your diameter. So it's a 1/8 inch diameter hole through. Let's go ahead and hit OK. And now we have our through part, our through hole in our part. Okay, say we want to make a pattern on top. In Fusion, you can do that by clicking on your little icon here, rectangular pattern. Now, it doesn't have to be rectangular, it can be other things. If you want to, you can just go down to create, pattern, and make it either rectangular or circular or pattern on path. For this, we're going to do a rectangular pattern. Tilt your part up. Again, you can do that by pressing down on the middle mouse wheel while holding shift and moving your mouse around. Get it at a good viewpoint, and then click on the feature you're wanting to pattern. In this case, it's this 125 hole. So I clicked on it, and now we're going to give it directions for the pattern. We're going to go in the X and Y location. So click on select on the directions and choose your directions. I'm going to click the top and the side. Okay, you can see the arrows appear. Drag them over, drag them down, put it however you want it, and as many as you want. So I can pull this dude over like 1/2 inch, pull it down 1/2 inch, or just type it in. And then you can also increase the number of circles you're going to pattern. So let's give it 4 and 4. Okay, and hit OK. And now we have a rectangular or a square pattern there. Very, very simple to use. If you want to put threads in these holes, that's very simple. You just go over and click on create, go down to thread, and what I like to do is click on model, choose your threads. I got it set to auto. Just click on what you're wanting to thread. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of that. Re-click. Let me just start over here. Create thread, and then we're going to do model and full length. You don't have to go full length. You can define how far you want the threads to go. As you can see through the model, you can put them all the way or take them to a certain depth. We're going to go to full length and hit OK. So now that has threads in it. You can do that to all of them if you choose. If you want to add a chamfer on top of your part, you can go to modify, click on chamfer, click on the sides that you want to chamfer. Let's do the whole top. So click on all 4 corners, all 4 sides, and just tell it how much you want it chamfered. Let's do 1/8 inch, 0.125. we have a chamfer now. Okay. If you want to put a radius on your part, let's look at the bottom. You can come up here to modify, fillet, or just click on the fillet icon. Okay. Same thing, click on the sides you want to fillet, and then give it an amount. Let's say 50 thousandths. Now you have 50 thousandths fillet. Okay. Something else we can do is we can do a revolve. So if you have a 2D part, let's start a new sketch. Let's create sketch, choose wherever you want to start at, it doesn't matter, you can redefine it later, and just start sketching something out. So say you got a general idea what your part's going to look like. Say we want some kind of plate that's going to seal a surface, so we can hit L for a line and just kind of start drawing out our part. So we're going to put a little groove on it. We're going to give it a hub. Going to give it a flange. And we're going to seal it. Okay. We're going to give it some measurements. So I want hit D for dimension. We're going to click here. It's saying it's 116,000. We'll say I want that to be 0.18875. Okay. And say I want this to be a certain length too. So I'll click on these two walls and tell it what I want it to be. I want it to be 125.125. Okay. And then say I want this to be a certain length. I want it's got to be quarter inch, 0.25. Okay. And then what's left over goes here. We'll say 375.375. All right. And then we'll give it a full length here, which is going to overstrain it. So the part's overall length is 9375. Okay, that's a good number. Say we wanted to put like a radius in the corners here. You can do that by a fillet up here. Touch two sides. Boom, boom. And then you can do it over here too if you wanted to. And give it a number like 0.032, 32 thousandths. Look at there. Say this needs to be chamfered. Go to Modify Chamfer. Equal distance chamfer. Say we're going to do like a chamfer here. Okay, do like a 0.0625. Looking good. We're going to put a radius here. Click the two sides. Okay, we're going to do like a 32 thousandths radius. Okay. Out here we're going to put a chamfer. Modify chamfer equal distance. Boom, boom. Let's do a 0.125. That ain't too big. I like it. It's looking good. So now we're going to see what revolve means. So revolve is I have this 2D shape here, and I want to create a 3D shape out of it. So to do that, I want to create a 3D cylindrical part out of this. So to do that, I'm going to click on Revolve, and I'm going to choose an axis. To make it a cylindrical, I need to go to the center of the part, or where that cylinder would be, which would be here. So I'm just going to click there, go ahead and hit OK, and rotate my part up, and you'll see. Look at that. So now I have this part. Okay. Say I wanted to put a hole in this part, I can just go up here to hole, click on the surface I want the hole, give it a diameter. Say I want it to be like, let's do 1.0, okay, and say I want to put it in the middle, you can drag it, and it'll actually snap to center. See it snap, snap, okay. Say I want it all the way through this part. I just make sure the red is going out of the part. If it is, it's cutting it. Okay, so we got a through hole in that part. Say we want to bolt this down to something. Okay, what we can do is C for circle, touch whatever face we're wanting to put the holes on. I'm going to orient it, so from the center out, and give it a number, like 1/4 inch. Is that too small? Yeah. Let's do like 1 inch. Too big. 1/2 inch. Fair enough. Okay. Hit D for distance, touch the circle, and touch the center. And let's define how far out. So 1.5. Okay. Let's rotate it up and let's extrude that out. Let's hit escape, left click, Q for extrude, and pull it through the part. So there's a hole there now. That look good. Okay. Now let's create a bolt pattern. So let's go down here to create a pattern, circular pattern. Let's choose that. And let's choose the axis. The axis we're going to use is, you can use the outside of the part or inside. I'm going to choose inside. Okay, look at there, it populated. Okay, there's 12. Let's do like 8. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, hit OK. Now look at there what we've done. Okay, now you can put bolts in there, bolt it down, looking all good and stuff. Say you want like a counter bore on the back or something. You can hit C for circle, touch the surface, find your center. See the center? It snaps right in. And just give it a definition, 1.5. Okay. Rotate it up and click on the sketch. Hit Q for extrude and bring it down to the amount that you want it recessed. So if you want your counter bore to be a 1/4 inch deep, go minus 0.25. Hit enter, and then boom, you got a counter bore. Okay. Say you messed up, you didn't sketch in a groove, you got a groove here that you're needing to put in there, and you don't know what you're going to do. I got a cheating way to do it. If you go to construct, offset plane, touch on the top, and say you need that from this face down, it needs to be like 100 thousandths down. You can create an offset plane 100 thousandths down, so it says -100. Hit OK, and then rotate it back up. Hit C for circle, touch that new offset plane, and let's take a look directly at it. Hit C for circle, drag it out to the diameter that you're wanting the groove to be. So we're going to say 1.875, enter, and then we're going to C for circle, and then pull it out to the center here. It doesn't really matter, just anywhere before the solid begins. Right there. Hit finish sketch. Okay, and now what we're going to do is turn off our bodies, touch that sketch, and hit Q for extrude. Turn our bodies back on, and say you want it, it's 100 thousandths down, and say you need it to be 100 thousandths wide. So we're going to go minus 0.1. And that's going to see the red, and so it's going to cut it out. So now we have an internal ID groove. And we didn't have to sketch on a 2D. We just went back and fixed it later. Say you need some radii in there, show you something you want to be able to see the part. It's getting dark in there. You don't really know what's going on. You can go up here to this cool little tool called Inspect. Go to Section Analysis and click on the plane you're wanting to look at. I'm going to hit Top. Click here. Hit OK. It's cut my part in half. See that? I can look in there at it. Say, oh, I don't have no radius there in my corner. Let's put a radius in there. So I'm going to just hit Fillet and click on that. Click where I want to fillet. Okay, say we want 5,000.005. Boom. We got a 5,000 radii in there. Okay, say we want a chamfer right there. Modify chamfer, go like 0.05. Looky there. Put a chamfer here to modify chamfer 50,000.0625. Let's do 16. Okay, let's turn off that analysis. Let's see what we've done. See, we put that chamfer in that bore, put the groove, put radii down in the corner. See how this part's coming together? Say you want these holes to be chamfered. Chamfer, click on the ones you want chamfered. Okay, and then give it a amount. Let's say 0.05, 50 thousandths. Your holes are now chamfered. Okay, I want a radius out here. You can actually click on it, hit Q for extrude, and type in the amount, 0.05. So now there's a 50,000 radius on the outside of that part. See it? So there's all kinds of neat little things you can do in Fusion. You want to do some threads, create, thread, click on your diameter. I like to click on modeled, choose the kind of thread you want. Let's say 1/2 inch 13. Hit OK. We got 1/2 inch 13 threads there. It's that simple. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I think that's all I'm going to cover in this video. I will say one last thing. I love the way Fusion does their timelines. You can manipulate them, move things forward and back in time. Their sketches are awesome. Instead of doing the way other softwares do, they do levels and stuff like that, layers. I don't like that. I like the way Fusion does theirs. So I can turn off my bodies and turn on my sketches. So now let's turn some of these off. So this is the through bore, obviously. Turn on the body, you can see that let's see. We have the main sketch on the bottom. So like I could just click here twice and type that in, bottom circle sketch. That's what I like about Fusion. You can define what each one of these are, so you're not clicking. If you got 1,000 sketches and it's just sketch 1, 2, 3 to 1,000, you don't. It could take a long time to figure out what each one of those are. But if you just take the time to define what they are, you can quickly navigate back to and from them. So, like, we'll turn off the body. This first one is the main sketch. It's the flat 2D sketch. I can just tell it that's what it is. So just click on it and say uh, main sketch. So enter, boom. So if later on in the design work something needs to change, like something with this groove or something, I can always go back to the main sketch, right click and edit the sketch. Okay, say that this needs to be 1/8 of an inch. double click that number. Parametric modeling, my friends, 0.125. It's changed. Hit finish. Now our groove is now 1/8 of an inch instead of 3/16. Let's turn off that sketch. Let's inspect it with the measuring tool here. Click that face and that face, and we have on our distance 1/8 of an inch. It's really that simple. Thank you guys so much. I hope you learned something. I hope I hope I made it seem easy, because it really is. Once you take the time to just sit and listen to someone talk about it and watch what they're doing, and then you actually get in there and do it yourself. So you get good in time. You just have to mess around with it. Thank you guys. Take care.